Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion, delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots, you know, the actions you can take, how your family, your business can benefit in current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. Let me remind you, if you ever have any more related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Welcome back, Travis Robinson, Maxwell Agency. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. Hey, you know, I thought I'd ask you this question. We play this intro song. I bet 90% of the kids you coach have never heard of that song.
Oh, 100%. 100% accurate.
None of them. I mean, it's kind of fascinating. A great show like that. It's not even on. My youngest son likes watching CW. He doesn't like he doesn't like any of the police shows or any of the drama shows or a little bit of American Idol, maybe. Three's Company, 2.5 Men. I think he's watched every episode 17 times, but not Welcome Back, Kotter.
No, Welcome Back, Kotter. Yeah, no, my kids, the kids at Bosco would not know that. There's no way.
Of course, some of the kids over there might have gotten in a little trouble. They might learn something from it as what not to do.
Right, absolutely.
Coaches might not be too happy if they saw that one. Let's see what we're celebrating today. We have to celebrate on Ron Siegel Radio. Today is... We're not doing Lucky Penny, are we, Josh? Not on the Lucky Penny. We're not going to go with any Lucky Pennies. But we're going to go, because I have beaten anorexia, National Taffy Day. Not the garbage that you get at the cheap stores coming out of China. We don't want that one. Go to a good candy store and get a saltwater taffy. Like that one. That's my son works at Disneyland, so we can bring home some good taffy over there. But the question of the day, you ready for this one? What is your favorite taffy flavor? So put that in the chat. Do you like taffy, Travis?
I do not like taffy. I'm a chocolate guy.
You're a chocolate guy. Okay. Well, you can never go wrong with chocolate.
Right.
I think they have a couple of the taffies, though, have some chocolate built into them.
Yeah. Not big taffy.
Not a big taffy guy. Okay, so no taffy for Travis. But if you're a taffy person, put it in there and let's see what the favorite taffy flavor is. If you're watching us on a replay, and I see some folks are here and you're not putting comments in there, I get it. You want to be incognito, so that's fine. What is your favorite? Josh, you a taffy guy? He's not a taffy guy either. Maybe that's why you two are thin and I'm not. There's none of these sweet things. I like all of them. So, and maybe if I didn't eat so much sweet stuff, I'd have more of these fancy $100 bills. If you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, I give these out all the time. So a little bit of fun right there. Let's see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average is down 253 points. Ow! Yeah. S&P 500 is up 13.57. Wonder if that has anything to do with NVIDIA. NASDAQ up 136 points. Oil's down 64 cents a barrel. Now, did you see the president once again dipping into the Strategic Petroleum Reserve? Now, I had no idea. And you learn something new all the time, especially when you're doing a daily radio show. You learn about all these new things. So what I always thought the Strategic Petroleum Reserve had something to do in case the United States of America had some sort of a need militarily for oil or petroleum. Had no idea. You're going to hear this first on Ron Siegel Radio. No one else will tell you this. Breaking news. Purpose of the Strategic Oil Reserve is anytime the Democrats have an election coming up, they dip into it because their policies are so bad that gas prices just go crazy. So right before elections, like now, the Democrats, when they've got a Democrat in the presidency, yes, we do have a Democrat as a president right now. So you go to dip into the Strategic Petroleum Reserves. They're going to release 1 million barrels of oil. Translation: 42 million gallons of gasoline going to be given out or released, and that's going into the northeast part of the country. Now, I don't want to cause trouble. Maybe I do. About a year ago at this time, or 4 years ago at this time, when we had a different president, well, gas prices were under $2 a gallon nationally. Right now, nationally, they're about double that. Oh, yeah, I know. Gavin's going to tell us it's all because the oil companies are gouging people. Do you think the oil companies really care about gouging people only in California? Because the national average of a gallon of gasoline is $3.62, and in California, we're at $5.16 a gallon. $5.16. Now, apparently, the oil companies must like people in Mississippi more than they like people in California because they're only paying $3.06 a gallon, $3.06 compared to our $5.15. So I guess they like them better. Or could it be the policies of the state of California? Could it be the regulation in the state of California? And I know our regulations are really doing a lot of good, right? I spent the last couple of days in what I used to think might be a nice area. I was in Santa Monica. And I know I'm going to get some hate mail on this one. I think I'd rather go to Bakersfield. I mean, and I never thought I'd say, yes, I know I've got friends in Bakersfield. I'd rather be in Bakersfield than Santa Monica, California. Although if I was going to Bakersfield, I might go another hour and just stop in Paso Robles. Just saying that's just the way I am. But the policies, and, apparently the people of the state of California like these policies because we keep voting for them. We've got a state that's, $37 billion over budget and in debt. And what do the people of the state of California do? Well, we vote for this Proposition 1 that gives us another $6 billion in bonds. Unbelievable. You got to love it. Yes, Mildred, you are right. I think that might be our only savior here in the formerly Golden State is praying. And it's always good to pray, but I think I'm not sure, it might take more than that. But the craziness of this state and the things that we're doing, and and I share this in all loving kindness. Do you know that our governor, well, he was the mayor of San Francisco, and he had this solution. He had a solution to homelessness. Well, his solution, he had a 10-year plan. He put that 10-year plan into place 16 years ago. So San Francisco is 16 years into their 10-year plan for homelessness. I didn't realize that his plan really meant, let's see how many homeless people we can get into the city of San Francisco. Because I've noticed some big commercial buildings, their prices have fallen quicker than, well, I'm not going to go there. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Questions you may have about selling your house. How to balance helping your family and look out for your financial self or financial self. Look out for yourself financially. Easy for me to say. Workplace violence. We'll talk about all that and more. Reach me again anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com, facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio, and if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Confused about the home buying process? Or curious how much you really know about buying a home? Take the First Home IQ quiz to test your understanding of buying a home. Created by the nonprofit First Home IQ, this 5-minute quiz will give you a score, what you missed, and why. Take the quiz in 5 minutes at rsrlinks.com/FHIQ and find out what you need to know about buying your first home. That's rsrlinks.com/FHIQ.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And don't forget, yes, I am still pushing on the Home Select loan from Geneva Financial. Why? Because it's the best loan on the market, unless you like paying a lot of interest expense. And I know most of you have an interest rate on your loan of under 4%, but maybe that's twice as much as it needs to be. Yeah, that's right. You heard me say it. Hey, let's see what's going on in the world right now every day at this time. OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 35% of all mortgage transactions. They do not tell us points paid, points received, or APR. They only give us the numbers that the rates locked at as of yesterday we're looking at. 30-year conventional loans locked at 6.937. 30-year jumbo loans locked at 7.075. FHA loans 6.752. All of those were up. USDA loan locked 6.737. That was up. The best loan on the market, well, next to the Home Select, which is completely different. The 30-year VA loan 6.545. Love our veterans. That one was down yesterday. If you want our market commentary, and yes, we do provide that as early as the data allows, rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. We get out that commentary each and every day, or we try to anyway. Yeah, Gabriel, it's all solution needed. You're right. So the issue on that Home Select, it is the big. I look at it, it's probably the last loan that anybody will ever have while they live in a given property. Because if you can be under 2% effective APR on a 30-year loan and have complete access to the equity in your property in case you need it, well, you may need it now, because as we look at what's really going on in the real estate and in the mortgage world and in the world of finance, I look and I say, okay, the S&P 500 is up 9 points. The Dow is down 278. Maybe that's why people like our high interest private lending solutions that we've been putting together for them. But I digress. Let's take a look and see what's driving this market and things that, maybe not everybody's going to tell you, because we can go on google.com and get a lot of information. Some of it might even be right, but give you a couple ideas here. Equipment leasing confidence dropped to 50.7. 50 is like the baseline. That's neutral. So we're just barely positive on that one. Manufacturing index predicted to remain stable, reflecting potential cooling in the sector. Labor markets, significant declines in CapEx expectations and hiring intentions. Housing market, April saw a decline in home sales and an increase in inventory pointing to potential price drops. Do you really think that can happen? A lot going on in these markets, and all we hear from the administration is the economy is great. Tell that to all the people that go to Tilted Kilt. Oh, sorry, don't go to Tilted Kilt anymore because they closed all the restaurants. I think out of the 105 across the country, there's 5 opened. You start looking and you're saying, okay, what about some of these other places that are closing up? Well, 16 big bankruptcies, according to Bloomberg, tallied in the month of May. And that doesn't count the companies with, and that's just companies with 50 more in liabilities. Companies with 10 to 50 million in liabilities, 25 in the Eastern District of those. Village Oak Senior Center, Eastern District of California. That one filed for bankruptcy. Advanced Care Hospitalists, Florida. Infinite Properties, Florida. Maybrook, Western District, Pennsylvania. Just throwing these out there for you that the economy, no matter what they're telling you, it's cooling. I'm just suggesting, and I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. I'm just saying to you that these things are going on in the marketplace. The media is lying to you. They do that on a regular basis. You need somebody that's going to tell you the truth, and that's why you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. RSRHomeselect.com, RSRHomeselect.com. You will not qualify if you wait until you lose your job or don't have income. You most likely can qualify. It's not an easy loan. You got to have good credit, but it is the best loan on the market. Think about that, paying a 30-year loan off in 7 years with no extra mortgage payments. Just throw that out there for you. But let's chat with our friend Travis Robinson, Maxwell Agency. Now that we've talked about all the good mortgage things, let's talk about one of our favorite subjects on Ron Siegel, insurance.
Compliance, insurance. Yeah, you go.
You're not allowed to use the C word on Ron Siegel Radio.
Oh well, unfortunately,
compliance.
I mean, we sell insurance. Maxwell Agency specializes in group health insurance, employee benefits, but we deal a lot with compliance because of state regulations and ACA and
state regulations.
Yeah,
unbelievable. You got that one too, huh?
Yeah.
So you got all the fun. You got all the fun stuff, Travis.
It's boring.
State regulation and compliance.
It's very boring. You cannot make insurance sexy, but it's important, right? So
got to have it.
If you have a company and you have employees, you need to attract and retain talent. So how do you do that? We help by doing that with insurance, employee benefits, offer them attractive, You
don't hear that unless somebody's really sick. I don't usually hear people say, something, I'm going to go to XYZ company because insurance.
Right.
If they're sick, then they want to go to XYZ company because they got good insurance.
But employee benefits, right? How do you keep
that? You always hear.
How do you attract and retain talent? Well, you give them a robust benefit package, which makes them, and our total compensations, which we do for all of our groups, is if you have health, dental, vision, long-term disability, life insurance, then we have a total compensation statement that shows the employee, hey, this is how much my employer is actually contributing towards my benefits. So that's what makes it attractive. That's
a big issue. A lot of people look at it and they say, they don't think about the fact, the insurance, well, my employer pays for it.
Yeah.
Or PTO, my employer pays for it. Or I was traveling the last couple of days and I heard them talking about Samsung is going to require all their top level managers must work 6 days a week now.
Really?
Yeah, that's a new thing from Samsung. So you start looking and saying, what is the value of the benefits? People, you hear the conversation, and people don't realize that we are the company. I look at Geneva Financial. Okay, so I lead a lending team at Geneva Financial. There is no one named Geneva or no one named Financial.
Right.
Right. It's a company owned by people.
Somebody.
It's owned by somebody.
Yeah.
Right. And we, the people, are the ones that work there. Every one of your companies. I worked at Merrill Lynch years ago, and they say, well, your business card will get you business. No, nobody cared about my business card.
Right.
They wanted to know what we did. Same as you, right? I mean, they don't care that you represent the biggest insurance companies in the world.
No.
They want to know, can I get a hold of Travis?
Right. Yeah.
Right?
And
Can I get a hold of the people?
Right. Yeah. And we're a small team, but we, offer, our clients range from 2 employees. Our largest is around 1,000 employees. Our niche
But it's all employees.
well, employees.
It's people, right?
Yeah.
But what I was getting at is, you hear, well, we want to have 75 weeks of maternity leave. Okay, who's going to pay for that?
Someone is.
Right? Someone's paying for it. It's not like it just comes out of thin air. The state doesn't pay for that.
Right.
The company does.
Yeah.
And then you look at it and you say, okay, well, that sheet that you give to me seems like it's probably one of the most important documents that we can look at from a company.
Right. And if we have our clients use it to attract, like if they're doing annual reviews, well, your employees come in and say, hey, I need a increase in pay. Well, you sit down with this document and you show them, hey, this is what we're paying for your insurance. We're paying 80% for the employee and we're paying 50% for your family or your dependents, right? Or we pay this much for dental and vision. And
okay, so stop right there.
Yeah.
Didn't you tell me, and I don't remember the exact thing, but didn't health insurance gone up, 10, 12, 15% in the last year?
On average, I would say our groups are getting hit with a 10% rate increase.
Okay, so let's just use that exact number, 10%.
Yeah.
Okay, so if they were paying $300 a family, maybe
Family?
What is the company portion of it?
So we advise our clients to pay 80%, 70 to 80% for the employee, and then if 50% for.
I think in my household that would probably be close to $1,000 a month.
Yeah, I mean, good employers. My wife works for a school district, and they contribute quite a bit towards the entire family. I think it's I don't know the numbers, but so I sell this. When I'm part of this company, and I don't even take insurance through my own company because my wife's employer contributes a significant amount towards hers.
But what my point there is let's just say you're working. What does an average person work? 150 hours a month, something like that. Mm-hmm. And you're paying $1,000. That's about $7 an hour. Just that one line item.
Right.
So if you're making $30 an hour, $20 an hour, whatever the number is, and I guess at McDonald's now you're $20 an hour.
Mm-hmm.
That number goes to 26.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Yep.
Now we haven't even got to all the other benefits that are on the statement that you guys provide.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good way for business owners to show their employees what they do for them. Right. So attract, retain.
So at that review you were talking about, just that alone that went from $6 an hour for insurance to $7 an hour for insurance.
Mm-hmm.
You got a 10% increase in pay just on that portion of your pay.
Right. Yep.
That's crazy.
I know. So it's a powerful tool, right?
Yeah.
And so
if you've got a small business, you got to be looking at is your group health company providing that? I know I've never seen anything like that, but
right.
the thing is your company providing it? If not, give me a call at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. We'll put you in touch with Travis Robinson, Maxwell Agency. We're going to continue. Maybe we'll go to line 2 of that document when we come back. Maybe not. Questions you may have about selling your house, how to balance helping your family, and look out for yourself financially and more. Reach me anytime. Off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down, sure. We might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 1990, the real-time real estate segment being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Questions you may have about selling your house. There's no denying mortgage rates are having a big impact on today's housing market, and that may leave you with some questions about whether it still makes sense to sell your house and make a move. Here are 3 of the top questions you may be asking and the data that helps answer them. Number 1, should I wait to sell? If you're thinking about waiting to sell until the mortgage rates come down, here's what you need to know. So are a ton of other people. And while mortgage rates are still forecasted to come down later this year, if you wait for that to happen, you may be dealing with a lot more competition as other buyers and sellers jump back in too. Bright MLS says, quote, even a modest drop in rates will bring both more buyers and more sellers into the market, unquote. That means if you wait it out, you'll have to deal with things like prices rising faster and more multiple offer scenarios when you buy your next home. Number 2, are buyers still out there? But that doesn't mean no one is moving right now. While some people are holding off, there are still plenty of buyers active today. And here's the data to prove it. Showing time, showing index is a measure of how frequently buyers are touring homes. We've got a graph that uses the index show buyer activity for March, the latest data available over the past 7 years. So we got all Marches, 7 years of data. And you can see, other than the unicorn years, yes, 2021 and 2022, there's still more than 2018, 19, 20. 2023 had more showings, but still a lot of activity out there. You can see demand has dipped some since those unicorn years. That's in response to a lot of market factors like higher mortgage rates, rising prices, and limited inventory. But to really compare today's demand, you have to compare where we are now with the last normal years in the market, not the unicorn years. When you focus on if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490, FM 98.1 video feeds, you're seeing the charts. Blue bars, you can get an idea of how 2024 stacks up, and that gives you a whole new perspective. If you want to know how your neighborhood is, go to rsrlinks.com, rsrlinks.com/market report. And you can get any one of the 3,007 zip codes in the U.S. and see what's going on in there. Number 3, can I afford to buy my next home? If you're worried about how you'll afford your next move with today's rates and prices, consider this. You probably have more equity in your current home than you realize. Homeowners have gained record amounts of equity over the past few years, and that equity can make a big difference when you buy your next home. You may even have enough to be an all-cash buyer and avoid taking out a mortgage altogether. As Jessica Lautz, Deputy Chief Economist of the National Association of Realtors, says, quote, those who have earned housing equity through home price appreciation are the current winners in today's housing market. 1/3 of recent home buyers did not finance their home purchase last month, the highest share in a decade. For these buyers, interest rates may be less influential in their purchase decisions. Bottom line, if you've had these 3 questions on your mind and they've been holding you back from selling, hopefully it helps to have this information. A recent survey from Realtor.com shows more than 85% of potential sellers have been considering selling for over a year. That means there are a number of sellers like you who are on the fence. But that same survey also talked to sellers who recently decided to take the plunge and list. And 79% of those recent sellers wish they'd sold sooner. If you want more information, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Let's continue our conversation. Again, that's Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com. Continue our conversation. Travis Robinson is with us. He's with the Maxwell Agency. They do group, I guess you get paid for group health insurance, but you do a whole lot more than that.
Right. So, I mean, our commissions are based off of health, dental, vision, long-term care. So insurance. Health insurance for your employees.
But let's talk a little bit about some of these C-word things that we don't like to talk about on Ron Siegel Radio. Compliance.
Yeah. Yay, fun.
So a new law out there, huh?
Yeah. So a new
So
bill.
here's a question. I wonder how many people that are listening to us right now know there's a new mandate. This is just for California? Or is it a federal law?
No, I think it's California.
Okay. Most of our mandates are California. So, I mean, we
Yeah.
like regulation here.
Right.
Okay. So, wonder how many people know, when does it, before you go into too much of it, when does it go into effect?
July 1st
July 1st.
of this year.
So, you got about
Pretty bad at math. but
38
yeah.
days.
Yeah, 38 days.
So, 38 days to be in compliance, or else you could get sued or fined by the state for something you may or may not know.
Right.
So
Correct.
the question is, has your compliance company, has your employer or HR company that works with your HR people, have they told you anything about this? Do they know about this? Explain it if you would, Travis.
Well, so it's goes into effect July 1st. It is a workplace violence protection plan, which means your employees and managers have to have training, and it's 2 different trainings. And then you have to have a document in place showing this workplace kind of plan, like it's your company's plan. So I know
Have you gone through it?
I have not gone through it
Okay.
yet. Well, so the mandate, I have a whole checklist. And if listeners want a checklist, they to go through it. But the gist of it is, if you have 10,
Call
or
me
more,
if you want the checklist.
yeah, 10 or more employees in one spot, then you need to have this in place. So, but there's a whole checklist. But that's kind of the bottom line of it, right? Or like what the minimum. So if you have 3 employees, this is not really going to pertain to you. But if you have over 10 employees, then you're going to have this training. So
I have to be trained in how to protect my employees. Is that what it means? I mean,
you have to have a plan in place.
A plan in place.
Yes.
So basically, if there's violence at the workplace, we all have to know that. Go out the back door, go out the front door, where the exit points are, things like that.
Right.
That'd be interesting just to go through some of the items on the checklist,
Yeah.
just for fun. What the heck?
So we have online training that we can provide for your employees, and then another segment. And I think the training is around 30 minutes, and then for your managers, it's a different training. I believe that's around 40 minutes, and then we have the documentation that we put in place, and you have to have logs and certain everything. So a lot of our other brokers or competition they're charging for this. So if you're a client of mine, we do it absolutely complimentary. It's part of our services.
What's that? I was watching at the hotel this week. They have one commercial. Every other word is free to you.
Free to you. Yeah.
Right. So if you're a business owner working with Maxwell Agency, it's free to you.
It's free
not to
you.
them.
Yeah.
They have to pay for this stuff.
Right.
Just like we put on, like we were talking about in the last segment when we were talking about the compensation sheet.
Total compensation statement.
Total comp statement.
Yep.
Right. It showed these are all benefits that, and we're in California. California, we know that the legislature does not like business, does not like businesses. So the issue then becomes, if you're not compliant, you could not even know about it, and they can still come in and fine you. And
yeah, so it's very similar. I would say at this point, most people are aware of this sexual harassment training. So if you have 5 or more employees, you have to do this training.
Even there, they make it more difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sexual harassment is 5. This is 10.
Mm-hmm.
The next one might be 7.5, something like that.
7.5.
So that because the whole idea is, why wouldn't we make them all consistent, right? 5 or more for everything. That way we know I don't need this, I do need that, or whatever. But here, to be compliant, I might say, oh, well, this one just came out at 10, and I didn't do sexual harassment because I thought that was 10 also.
Right. Yeah. So like I said, you
guys keep track of all that.
We keep track of it for the groups. It's all in our online system, which we provide another training. The benefit administration systems are online. A lot of them, all of our clients are. There's Ease and Employee Navigator, and those two are merging. So we also provide a complimentary training for anyone that's on Ease that's going to have to transition to Employee Navigator. There's going to be a lot of trouble, and I think they merge end of the year, or that date might have been pushed back. But if you're on Ease for your employee administration systems on paperless, and you're going to eventually be pushed to Employee Navigator. So
but you're able to, through your technology, and I don't want to put words in your mouth, so I want to make sure it's correct. Can you, through your online systems, see if I'm one of your clients, which things I need and which things I've done?
100%. It tracks. It'll tell you if you have 50 employees, what of those employees have completed this training? Where are they at in the process? Have they signed their employee handbooks? Yeah, so you can look and see.
So if I get an OSHA audit or something like that, or whoever the compliance manager is,
pop it up and say, here it is. Here's all my employees. Here's everything that needs to be done. And we have a whole checklist. Once you become a client of ours, we have a timeline that we send you and say, this is when we're going to get you in compliance with your employee handbook. This is when we're going to do, and we've moved the workplace violence up quite a bit because it's due.
Due in 38 days.
Yeah, 38 days. So, so we have a complete timeline of what we're doing, when we're doing it, and how many employees. Like, hey, you go into Ease and Employee Navigator and look and see how many employees need to get this done. You can do push notifications that sends them to their phone. Says, hey, please continue or sign your employee handbook, or please continue the training. So it makes your life.
You're not going to get paid this week unless you get your
I don't know if
compliance
you can do
work
that.
done.
I don't know if you can do that, but it makes these employers, HR managers, it makes their job so much easier because we take that burden, right? We take it from them.
I've never been an HR manager, and I know that they've got a lot on their plate, but I've always been more on the owner side. And the last thing I want to worry about is all this stuff that you do.
Right. Well, if you're
I want somebody else to, because I don't want to go to all the classes your people are going to find this out.
Right. So, but if you're a business owner, you have 20 employees, you might not have a full-time HR person.
Right.
So we have the HR service where they have access to HR professionals. It really helps them. So that's why, like, the majority of our businesses are around 50 employees. That's the average number. Blue collar, we do a lot of manufacturing because they don't have a full-time HR person. They don't have someone to track all this stuff. Well, we do it for them at no cost.
To you.
Well, yeah, no cost to my clients.
To your client. Because the fact of the matter is it costs money. All this stuff costs money. Otherwise, that's the whole bottom line why the state mandates it, is so that there's more people that have jobs. I'm just kidding there.
Well,
you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, more with Travis Robinson, Maxwell Agency, how to balance helping your family and look out for yourself financially, and more. Reach me anytime off air, number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
79% of all credit reports have errors that should be corrected through factual disputing. You could be saving thousands every year if your report was accurate. CreditSanitizer.com provides a free credit report audit when you furnish a specific $1 credit report. You can use this information to request corrections to your report and potentially save thousands of dollars. Get your free credit audit at CreditSanitizer.com. That's CreditSanitizer.com for a free credit report audit. CreditSanitizer.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by RSRDebtFree.com, RSRDebtFree.com. If you have debts, unsecured debts, private student loans, credit cards, I know you do, and you can't pay them all off within the next 2 months, RSRDebtFree.com might be the solution for you. How to balance helping your family and look out for yourself financially. Juggling different financial priorities and covering day-to-day expenses for yourself is hard enough. But what if you're helping out loved ones with their money situation? Financial experts across the board recommend putting on your oxygen mask first. Still, it's hard to disregard a close relative or family member who seems like they need help. Here's how you can balance your own needs and goals while also helping loved ones. Set up a family fund. Helping family members is more common than you might think. According to recent U.S. Census data, about 4.3 million Americans help their parents financially. And about 2.4 million parents received a median of $3,749 a year from their adult kids. Think of a family fund as a twist on a traditional emergency fund. Start by stashing away what you reasonably can afford each month, or consider squirreling away a percentage of small windfalls, tax refunds, work bonuses, birthday gifts toward your family fund. And like traditional emergency funds, lay out under what circumstances you feel comfortable drawing from your family fund. Maybe it's to help your aging parents cover the bills, or put food on the table amid rising inflation, Or maybe this money is reserved for those 911 scenarios, such as your sibling facing eviction or losing their car due to missed payments. 1 in 7 people are behind on their car payments right now. 1 in 7. Once you've depleted the funds in your account, that's it. You won't be able to help until you replenish this savings account. Do annual financial check-ins, regularly check in on your personal money goals to ensure you can balance your financial needs while helping your friends and family. Do I have enough in my emergency savings? What's the progress I'm making with my credit card debt repayments? Am I on track for retirement? How am I doing with my other savings goals? For instance, saving for vacation, kids' college fund, a home, car, investment property. Don't forget for that college fund, the Home Select account is a perfect place to save for that. And it might save you a lot of money. Seeing where you're at financially with your goals can help ensure you're making steady progress. It'll also give you an idea of whether you can continue supporting your family. If you're stretched thin, it might be time to scale back. Establish boundaries and expectations. Consider your boundaries and how comfortable you are helping your relatives or parents. Maybe you'll find them with day-to-day bills or when they're a financial pinch. Set caps on how much you can help. If you're offering a loan, make your expectations for repayment clear. Do you want them to pay you within a certain time frame? Laying out the terms might feel awkward, but you'll want to establish them from the get-go. It's one thing to establish boundaries, it's another to enforce them. Once you've communicated what you can and can't do regarding financial assistance to loved ones, make sure you hold firm to your boundaries. Know when it's better to direct them to resources. Depending on the situation, it might be more beneficial to help those close to you in need by pointing them to resources. For instance, a relative lost their job and is asking for help. In that case, maybe there's a free or low-cost training program in your area. And hey, we talked about that with Damian Weston. If you need help on retraining, I mean, the most expensive program he has is $2,500 in 6 months. That's the most expensive. Bottom line, balancing your financial priorities with those of family members can feel like a tall order. The goal is to ensure that your money situation does not suffer and you can afford to juggle both. Otherwise, it's a losing scenario for you and those you're trying to help. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by rsrdebtfree.com, rsrdebtfree.com. Continue our conversation this morning. Travis Robinson is with us. Maxwell Agency is the company. So not only are you doing all these things to help people, now you've thrown in there helping nonprofit organizations.
Right. So nonprofits, and it kind of started with my son's baseball team. He plays at Brea Olinda, and they're a nonprofit.
I heard that should have been the right song for you.
Oh. Yeah, thank you. But yeah, so nonprofits. So we like to donate and give money back. It's recurring monthly donations back to a nonprofit. If you're my client, if we do business with you and you have a nonprofit that you're associated with, that you like to donate to, that you like to give money back to, then we'll make those donations on your behalf.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
Right.
because a lot of times we hear these people talk about the big bad corporations or the insurance companies, even though I know you're the broker, but not the company itself. But, going out there and helping in the community where you can. I mean, I know that you do a lot of other community service work, but, every organization needs, every nonprofit that I've ever come across, they need two things. They need manual labor and they need financial support.
Right. Well, being, coaching football for so many years on that side of it, I understand what it takes to run a football program, and then being a baseball
Well,
parent,
yeah, you gotta take that one step because you don't run a normal football program. Right. There's average programs out there that are on a moderate scale. When you're in the Trinity League, you guys are all big time. That's like the Cadillacs or the major leagues of high school football.
Right. So I mean, and I have no idea what it takes to run a program, but being in coaching, and I don't know what it costs to. When we travel, we go to Hawaii, we go to Florida with Bosco. So, but I try to help.
People would be shocked if they knew how much it costs.
I have no idea what it costs.
Well, I can tell you this: 18 years ago, I did know, and at that time, for one of the elite programs, was over $500,000 a year.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
that's what they've got to, and people don't realize that. The coach doesn't pull that out of his pocket every year.
Right. So
he's got to be out there fundraising.
Yeah, so being a coach, I see that side of it, kind of have an idea what it costs to run a football program, and then being a parent of a baseball parent, I'm paying the money myself now to help that program. So we had the idea of, let's give money back, because, you're always asking for money. Well, if you're my client, if I get introduced to a business and it's through another parent of a baseball program, then my company will happily donate back every single month to that program to help it run. So it's nonprofit. It's 501c3. We have to be, it has
Got to be compliant.
It's got to be
back in that compliance
right.
world.
So, but it's just something that we're doing to help, help
the community.
Support, so, Pop Warner programs, youth baseball programs, high school programs. I've coached football for 20 something years. So I know a lot of coaches in Orange County, and I'm working with their programs to help generate those funds. So who doesn't need monthly recurring donations?
Yeah, we all heck, we even want that for if we could figure out how to get what do they call that when you retire? You want that monthly checks coming in, right? To the mailbox money.
Yep, mailbox money.
Right. I mean, so the bottom line is though, and we like to highlight some companies that are doing these things because there's a lot of businesses that basically say, something, I'm out here to make a profit. I don't care about anything around me. I've got my head down. I'm just doing what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And companies like yours that are out there looking to help the community and do better in the community, people need to spotlight them and say thank you.
Right.
Right. And we've got a little bit of a platform that we talk to, and the idea is to say, thanks for helping out these organizations. There's a million good ones.
There's 1,000 of them. I mean, I have dogs on deployment in San Diego. We just signed up Next Level Prospects. They take kids that need to go visit colleges to get recruited. We just, I just worked, kind of started their marketing material yesterday. Local high schools, Brea Olinda, El Dorado football, so we're working with a lot of companies to help, dogs on deployment. Like I said, in San Diego, if you're military and you deploy and you have a pet, what do you do with your pet? So this nonprofit finds foster homes for military pets.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, because the military, the men and women of the military, and as we go into Memorial Day weekend, we remember all of the men and women of the military, and especially those that have made the ultimate sacrifice for us to do what we do. I mean, I couldn't do a conservative radio show in a liberal state. If it wasn't for the men and women of the military, you might not be able to coach football as well as the other things that you're doing. Right. I mean, because it's because of those people. And I've talked to a lot of folks. I know there's veterans that won't even go to the doctor for themselves because they don't have a place for their pet to stay. Right. Their pet is so important to them.
Yeah.
They're not going to leave them behind.
Yeah.
So they'll forego a doctor's appointment for themselves because there's nowhere for the pet to stay. So if they're being deployed, that makes it even more challenging.
Right. And if you, I mean, I've never not had a dog, right? Growing up, I've always had a dog. So if that's something, if you're going to be deployed, and that keeps you from maybe having a pet, but now here's a solution. So, and some of the men and women, they have to have a pet. Yeah. Well,
right. They're not a want to, they've got the service animals that are PTSD and whatnot. And so that's a great, I love that organization.
Yeah. Dogs on Deployment. Google it. They're amazing. Out of San Diego, we're starting.
We'd have to have you bring one of their representatives in.
Yeah, we could do that for sure.
If you want more information on how to help your organizations by a local company that gives back, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. If you want information on group health insurance for your business, if you want information on this new mandate that goes in, if you're listening to us live here, the 1st of July, I could say it that way, because otherwise, if I say 38 days, we don't know when people are listening to us. Yeah. So, if you don't have the workplace violence protection plan and you got more than 10 employees in one location, you might want to be getting a hold of Travis Robinson and switch your insurance to him, because his clients all know about it.
Right.
100%. And as always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And as always, we ask, don't forget, set that first radio preset button. We want to talk to you. and make sure you make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
I've counted up the cost. I know the sacrifice. Oh, and I don't want to die for you. But if dying's asking me, I'll bear that cross.